Mizuno have brought out new putters with more adjustability than ever before. But do they actually work? So we've got the Mizuno M-Craft X putters. Now we've got two models here, the 5 and the 6. Both of them, as you can see, are that little bit bigger, the more mallet style. This one we have the fang style. It looks a little bit like Batman. That's kind of what it's reminding me of at the minute. Now in this lineup, you're not really going to get a bladed putter. And there's a very specific reason for that, and it comes in with the adjustability. I'm going to focus on the 5, that is the mallet shape. This is incredibly similar to my Scotty Cameron Golo, my own putter, which is why we're going to focus on this. However, I'm going to change the 5 into the 6, which doesn't sound like it makes any sense, but when we do it, it will make a lot more sense. Now this is a little bit of a process, so you're going to have to bear with me, but it's the adjustability that is the main focus of these putters. So what we're going to do, we are taking the wrench and just loosening the weights here, which is quite a normal process that you would see when you've got putters. However, when we loosen the weights here, we're not just taking these out, we're taking basically the whole of the putter out. So we're now left with the skeleton of the putter, and what we can do is that exact same process with the 5 model and put that one in here if we wanted to. So doing the same thing now with the 5 model, taking those weights out, and you're going to leave yourself with that same skeleton. Take that out. 2 weights, out they come, and we're left with 2 skeletons here. The whole reasoning behind this, you've got your skeleton. I can now choose which back to the putter that I want to put in. I could put this original one in and just put those weights back and we're back where we started. However, if I decided I didn't want a mallet putter and I wanted the fang design, I can take this, slot it in. So we're just putting those weights back in place, and we have gone from that mallet design to the fang design. And you might be thinking, why? Why do we want to be able to go from the mallet design to the fang design? I think the idea behind this is you take this one skeleton, you could buy extra backing, and then if you wanted to, you could change up the style of putter that you're using. You can maybe say that on faster greens, you want to use the fang design. On slower greens, you maybe want the mallet to get a little bit more behind the ball. But overall, you've got that option. You can choose. However, the confusing bit also comes from the fact that if you're buying one of these putters, you are just buying the one putter. You have to buy these extra backings separately, and we will come on to the costs and things like that later on, but the option is there. The option's also there to change the weights. So say for example, we've got the 7-gram weights in there now, but you saw how easy it was to change out the weights. We've also got 21-gram weights down there, and it is really easy to just change this out. The only thing I'd say is it more of a fitting tool as opposed to something that's going to be useful for golfers out there? I'm not sure, but this is the premise of what we've got. This is the adjustability that we're looking at with the new Mizuno putters. So aside from all that adjustability, obviously these are still putters. We're going to test them out as we would normally. That said, the fact that we have all that adjustability, that I was able to change between the skeleton to choose the neck that I like, the shape that I like, the weights that I like, mean that I've pretty much set this up as my exact putter. So straight away, down by the ball, because this is modeled on my own putter, I'm obviously feeling nice and comfortable over it. The overall look of both of these putters is just that they have a really nice, slick, premium feel. The entire color scheme is just this black with some white details, a tiny bit of like sparkly blue on the bottom, but overall just feels really premium, which is really nice. Nice and coherent as well, like up the shaft and on the grip. See if it can perform as well as it looks here. Yeah. Definitely comes off quite hot off the face. Now, I was kind of expecting that anyway, because like I said, I've modeled this on my putter, which is also a milled face. The face looks exactly the same as my own putter, and I like that one because it comes off fast. It comes off quite hot and quite firm, a little bit clicky. So if you're not a fan of that, these probably aren't going to be the right putters for you, but they're great if you do like that kind of feel. You can hear that click really clean. I think for me, obviously, I'm going to feel really comfortable stood over this because I've chosen exactly what I wanted from the putter, which I guess is a huge benefit to actually having that adjustability. I think initial thoughts with this putter setup, it does just feel really nice and stable. Obviously, that's a side effect of the way that I have set it up here with the weights. But on these shorter ones, I feel like I'm not putting in much effort at all. That's how I like my putters to be. I purposely have them on the heavier side so that I can just give them a nice gentle hit, and it usually works out all right. The only slight caveat is on the longer putts. Generally, I'd say this putter is very forgiving. Whether I'm striking it from the center or ever so slightly onto the heel, you can't really tell a difference in terms of the result and the feel of it. But striking this one slightly from the toe, the same way that my putter does, you're not getting loads of forgiveness there. It is slightly going offline and you can see it, you can feel it. But overall, I think it's a really nice putter. It feels very stable. You obviously have to put a good stroke on it to get the result, what we were saying with hitting it off the toe. But I really, really like this putter. I think the grip helps as well, just kind of keeping it on path, reducing kind of any sort of wrist action here. And I really like the design looking over the top of it, especially over the short putts, with the line there and the way that you have this raised bit here and then it kind of tapers off. In the sunlight, that looks really nice going back and forth so that you can see the path that the putter's going on, which I really like. I know some people find that off-putting, so that's maybe just something to consider. And I actually think, if anything, you'd notice that more with the fang design. Through the review, I've been saying how I think that the overall design of this is very premium, very slick. And unfortunately, that premium nature is still reflected in the price. So to get your hands on one of these putters, you're gonna be coming in at £429 RRP, which is definitely on the higher end of putter prices. Very comparable to, say, a Ping PLD or maybe a Scotty Cameron. Like I was referencing earlier, this feels very similar to my Scotty Cameron, so I can see why Mizuno has placed it at that higher price point. It has a premium feel to it, it has a premium look to it. It really, really reminds me of my Scotty Cameron. Obviously, I've set it up to do that, but I think how comfortable I felt over the ball and how similar it feels through impact kind of gives reason as to why they've gone for that higher price point. But something to consider, and this is maybe only a real consideration if you're somebody that likes to kind of fiddle around and change their putter every so often. If you buy this putter here, you can buy changeable weights at £40 a set of weights, and you can also buy the other backings at £100 each. So if I wanted to have the option to switch between this putter and the fang putter, it would only actually cost an extra £100 to get that backing. Now, that might not be useful for some people. I have used the same putter for a very long time because I'm comfortable with that. But if you're somebody that does like to change around and maybe have a couple different styles of putter, it could actually work out cheaper for you in the long run to buy one of these and then just add on the extra backings when you want them. So does it work? Is it a little bit of a gimmick? I'm not going to say it's a gimmick, but I am going to say that for me, somebody who has used the same putter for a very long time, likes to stand over the same putter and just likes that consistency, I think it's potentially unnecessary for me. It's not going to benefit my game. However, for those people out there who maybe haven't found the putter style that they like, they haven't found something they're 100% comfortable with and confident over the ball, this could be great to try and test things out, but it almost feels a little bit more like a fitting tool than something that players might use themselves. I'm sure there are people out there who want to change their putter styles. They like to fiddle around and change things up a little bit, and if that's you, this could be great. This could be a really fantastic option to try out. For me, it's not going to benefit my game because I've already found the putter style that I like. That said, as a single putter on its own, forgetting about all the adjustability, it's very premium. It reminds me of a Scotty Cameron. I really like the feel of it. I find it really stable, and the overall finish of it is just really sleek. So I think Mizuno have done a great job there, and you can rank it really highly as a putter on its own. That added adjustability is a cool extra little factor. It's not going to be game changing for my game, but I'm sure it would be beneficial for some golfers out there. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this. It's something very different, very new. I wasn't 100% sure on it. However, I'm interested to know what you guys think, so let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more.